create a NPM package for React Native. So the package is gonna contain a UI component like this one. So you can pen it. It's using a third-party library called React Native gesture handler. You can also press to increase the times it's being clicked. There's also props that passed into this UI component. Yeah, it's pretty much like this. So let's get started. And stop this. Okay, so to bootstrap this NPM package project, you have a couple options. So the one I'm gonna choose is to use this React Native module template. The reason is because I think it has the best Typescript support, and also it's updating very frequently, so it's well maintained. I believe it's very up to date. It's using the latest React Native version, which is like 0.64 something, I think. Okay, yeah. So in order to use that, we're gonna copy this line and clone it inside our project. So git clone here, and first step, we're gonna rename this project to the name of our native NPM package. So we're gonna call that rn chance. Make sure this is a unique name because we're gonna have to publish it and to the NPM registry, so that it needs to be a unique name. So I'm gonna call it something unique, just something unique, and roll over x. I believe this is unique enough. Okay. Is a directory. Oh, sorry. Let's move to rename it. Okay, then inside the README said we need to run this. So we're gonna cd into the rn channels library and run this. So to enter the library's name, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Chance young row over x. Chance over x. Okay. And then this is the prefix that is gonna use inside the native modules. And this one, I haven't created my GitHub just yet, but yeah, it doesn't hurt for me to enter it in here. github.com b7, and this is gonna be the same name again. Chance roll over x, and to have it landed in the README like that. And this is pretty much the same, so I can just copy whatever in here and make sure just to add it a .git. Okay, the author's name is me, Chang Liu, and 7@gmail.com. Okay, so we're all set. And as you can see, it has changed a lot of things for us. So next step is, oh, by the way, this project comes with the example in here. So whatever you have in there, you can try to run it in here. But first, let's just install all the dependencies to run yarn or yarn install. And after that, we can go into the examples. So this part is pretty much building this library for us. And then if we go into the examples and then install the package there. Just give it a second. And we'll also, if we want to run it on iOS, we also need to install the hot install. Oh, this part requires you to install CocoaPods. I mean, this is pretty much all the native code dependencies for iOS. This part. Yeah, and I think that's everything. We can test it out here. So as you can see inside the example, there's a counter. This module comes from our package, which is in here. So the package counter is actually defined in here. As you can see, counter in here. While it's building the app, we can always try to do something that a module usually do. We can extract this part into a folder, like you can call it components, and then you can call it probably counter tsx. And then we can extract everything here, pretty much cut it and then paste it in here. We don't really need to export this app one, don't need this, and I think that's pretty much it. It's still building. I think my computer is not very fast. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt us. We can always do, just don't save it just yet. And also, so we can import our counter from the components counter in here, code counter, I believe, and we can export counter. Wait, it's still building? Not sure if there's anything wrong with it. Okay, in the meantime, I guess we can also do something else. Okay, it's booted up. Give it a second. Okay, so this is the example that is by default included in the React Native module template. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay, let's stop it, and then we can save everything here, and then I believe it should be the same. If we saved everything, the first thing we need to do is to run yarn again, so that is repackaged, and then everything will be synced into our example project nested inside this this main project, the NPM package project. So yeah, let's run it again, see if it's still working. Yeah, it's still working. And then we can always change something here, like we can give it a, because this is FC. FC, give it a name or label, whatever you want to call it. Label, and then inside the examples, we can also pass a label in and call it greetings. We need to run yarn again to build it, and then you can see greetings there. Okay, so the next step, we will need to include some libraries in there, because we're gonna use the gesture handler, so we'll need to add React. Oh, but we don't want to add it as a dependency directly. We want to add it as a dev dependency. So it's not going to be built into our project, because we want whoever's going to use our library to have this gesture. We're expecting them to already have this dependency in here, so we don't want to add this into our library. So we'll add it as a dev dependency, but we're gonna do something else to make sure of that. So React native gesture handler. Okay. Let's just ignore that for now. Okay, then if we go to our package.json, we can see that in the dev dependency what is that? Oh, not this one. This one. Okay, we already have this. But in order to make sure whoever using our library already had this library, we'll need to add it in the peers dependency, so that if they don't already have it, there will be a warning for them to let them know that they should have this. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. And in order to use this library, we can do some modification in here. I already had that code in here, so it's pretty much a pen gesture, and this animated is from React Native. The pen gesture is from the React Native gesture handler, and this is animax is a reference for a animated value object. New animated value object current, and then this animated value object need to be inside this view. But in order to use a pen gesture, we'll need to wrap this entire thing inside a pen gesture handler. A pen gesture handler can receive a, oh, by the way, this pen gesture handler comes from the React Native gesture handler. So this pen gesture handler is gonna take this onPen function. I actually don't need this part, but yeah, it doesn't hurt to just put it there. This node we definitely don't need. So what this saying is, it's gonna map whatever inside this pen gesture into the animated X. So we're gonna take this translation X from this pen event, from this pen gesture event, and then map it to this value. So this value is gonna be used into this view. But in order to use this value, we'll need to use the animated, use the animated view in here. So animated is from React Native. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So let me see. Oh, we'll need to use this value in here. So the way we use it is to use a transform. Translate X. It's not a perfect way to use this value, but I think this is good enough to have the effect. So you can check it out. So this way we can just see the effect that is being penned. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So we can save it. And in order for this example to use it, remember we have the peer dependency, which is the pen gesture. So we will need to add this inside the example as well, but instead of dev dependency, we'll need to add it as a dependency. Okay, and then because this needs some native code, we need to enter into the ls and run pod install inside the example to use it. Like this one. Okay, then I believe we're good to go, but first let me just update our dependency. Okay, it's being updated. Give it a minute. And then after that, we'll need to reinstall this ls project. Give it a minute. It's taking long. Hopefully it's working. Yeah, it's working. But there's a little error. It's because the pan gesture is not being used properly. So if you pan it to the leftmost and then try to pan it, see that sudden jump? It is because the pan gesture has an offset that we don't calculate it into the animated value. To do that, there's a couple steps we need to do. Yeah, but if anyone's interested, I can do another video for that. Okay, I think we're pretty much good to go. And then the way to... Oh, by the way, there's a little bit caveat. I shouldn't say that, because if you go to the navigation handlers installation, there's an extra step in here for the iOS, and just so if you don't include this when you're testing it inside the example app, because I believe this part is gonna break the app a little bit. So I mean, at least inside the example app, we don't have to include this line. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Also, it's good. It's time to publish it. So everything inside there is already bootstrapped for us, so we don't have to change anything here. Everything is already in place. So okay, I believe it's time for us to publish it. Oh, before you can publish, you have to register with the NPM. Just do NPM login. If you already had an account, or go to their website, their website is npm.js, and sign up with them. I already signed up, as you can see. So I can just do npm publish. Close it. Okay, I believe it's already successfully being updated. So this one right here is okay. So in order to check it, we can go to the profile page. Oh, I already have this too. I believe it take a while for it to be updated in here, but we can also try to check it in another way, to just type it in. Rollover X. Maybe it's not there just yet. Oh, it's already there. Okay, as you can see, if we wanna So this is like a bootstrapped project. So if you want to use this, you can go into their website and just copy this line in here and then paste it. So if you run this, you can get this project. So the way we're gonna test it is to cd into this project and then yarn add React Native gesture handler, and our dependencies are in chance row over x. So after we added this one, we can test it inside our inside here. Let me just delete this. It's not very useful. And at this time, I believe we can include this setup line there. Copy it. And then paste it in here. And then inside this one, we don't need this part. Counter. Give it a label. Give it a little bit of style so that it fits in the screen. Justify content center. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll also have to pod install it to set up this iOS project. Oh, by the way, I need to yarn install all the dependencies. Wait, yeah, I already did that. Oh, there's something else. Okay, let's do this. It is because like the pod is gonna use like a summary. This is mandatory. It cannot be an empty string. So what this summary is actually comes from the description inside our package.json file, as you can see in here. So we'll have to do something like test npm in React Native, like that. And we will need to bump up the version to update it. Okay, let's cd backwards and into the npm pub, publish again. So this one cannot publish over the previous published version. Oh, I didn't save it. Let me do it again. This time it should work. Okay, it worked. 0.1. Couldn't find any version. Chance in rollover. I believe we already published it. Yeah, we already published it. Not sure why I couldn't find it. I guess it's gonna take a minute. List for it to show up. Okay, I think it should be there already. cd into ls, pod install ls. Run it. Okay, yeah, it's working. Pause it. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.